Hi everyone. Oh, okay. Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to cover all other master data for planning apart from material master data, which was already covered in the previous video. If you haven't checked it yet, please check. Also, unfortunately, I was not able to like prepare and get my slides together really for this video, but that's actually not a big problem. We will still switch between presentations of BTS team, and afterwards, when I have more time, I will compile the slides for our training presentation. So uh, as we already covered material master data, what we need to cover next is resources or work centers, locations, transportation lanes, and this like block, bill of material, routing, production version, which um, combined together give us production data structure. Okay, so let's start with work centers. Right. Just a moment. Oh, no, not with work center, but with location. So what is actually a location? Yeah. Um, Locations can be found in T code, SAP APO lock or LOC3, location master data. And this is like the data in this T code is PPDS counterpart of P40's plant information, right? So probably you know, maybe you don't, that in P40 we have a T code called WB03, which provides us with information about some plant. Okay, so let's take as an example, for example, Russian plant RUP1 located near St. Petersburg. We press continue, continue. Then we need still to press continue again because there is this warning message which automatically is appearing. And then we can have we can check the master data information for plant RUP1 Petro, right? So we see the company code, which it is assigned to. We see the distribution channel, division, sales organization. All of this data is important for sales. So then we can check, well, quite a lot of data actually. But this is not data which is used in planning directly. In order to check the data which is used in planning, we go to /SAP APO /LOC3. And we put the same location name and click display. And here we see the location, but with data which is related to manufacturing, planning, so everything that we need. So you can see that this location in the system was created a year ago, actually, by BTS team member Roman, and was changed 3 days after by also BTS team member Elvira. So it was done by the global go live because all of location data was in a separate system APP. And by the go live, all locations were created in P40. Previously, they were not maintained in P40 at all. So yeah, location is used to manage like a physical place where the material is produced, stored, or from where it is sold, right? By the way, this T code LOC3 is used not only for displaying location data, but also for maintaining and creating new locations. Okay, so what do we see on the in the general tab and in the header? We see the location name, location type. Let's check in our case. The location type as well is production plant. We also have like distribution centers, shipping points, stock transfer points, storage locations, terminals, and so on. But if you are checking locations for production plants, then they all will have same type production plant. Then what do we have? Planning version. Well, planning version is like for me, it is quite an abstract term, but you just need to remember that it is always 000. So the planning version, which is adopted and used by everyone in JTI, is 000. Right? Then we have several tabs. So on the first tab, we have the geographical data, and you see this is a quite interesting way to store the coordinates in the system, the longitude and latitude. Then we have time zone, who created it, so on. Then on address tab, we have obviously address, postal code, country, and so on. Then on the next tab, calendar, we might have some production calendar or shipping calendar or warehouse calendar associated or affiliated with this location. Let's check for RUP1. Okay, so no production calendar is assigned to location directly, right? So production calendar can be assigned to location, but it can be also assigned to machine, or like it can be found in other places, but it doesn't have to be assigned to location directly. And in this case, it is empty as well. Yeah, so factory or production calendar defines the dates and times when production can take place and when we have some available capacity. So for different countries, there are different holidays, so production calendars can also vary. Yeah, then we should know that yeah, that's actually sorry, that's actually all for location master data. So we are moving forward to work center or resource master data. And for work center and resource, we should know that we have a T code called C. Let me check. I guess I forgot it. Yes, CR, right? CR03. And for example, well, here it is more complicated because you need to know the exact work center. Oh, but luckily we have, for example, no, we have resource, but not work center. Yeah, so let me check CHP1, WL, WL22. Does it work? No. No, it doesn't. WL22. Just a second, sorry. Yeah, so this is how we display resource, but how the work center is named. Are we able to check it? Yeah, so I'm trying to remember how we can get the name of work center if we know the name of resource, because resource is again the um, data counterpart, which is used for planning. And in S4, first of all, we have work centers. So I want to follow with that connection. How do we check it? Name of work center. Okay. Well, can't remember right now. Let's display some other work center that I remember. P15 for tier P1. Yes. So this is how work center data in P40 in S4 looks like. Um, this is some making and packing machine assigned to the plant tier P1. So it is located there physically. And we also have the set of data here. But yeah, just maybe it will be described in the presentation how to follow this connection. So yeah, work centers are used, work centers are used in routings and production orders, of course, because we cannot produce any finished goods without machines. Then each work center has its capacity, duration times, and work centers are maintained in SAP, in S4, and then transferred to ePPDS as resources. In order to mm, enable a work center for planning, the this checkbox should be ticked, advanced planning, just same as with material, as I told in the previous video. Without this tick, no data will be actually synchronized with PPDS. So we will have a work center in SAP S4, but it will not be available for planning activities. By ticking this checkbox, everything is synchronized. Then, um, yeah, transaction SAP APO RES01 remains, but the main like the data comes in a one-way direction from CRT codes. Only PPDS relevant settings can be changed directly for resource. All other settings should be changed for work center in CR02 or CR01, and then the data will be transferred to resource. Okay, so here is the list of T codes. Then, yeah, so what we have, advanced planning checkbox, as I said. Then on the basic data tab, we have category, which can be machine or labor or etc. So in our case, I believe make and pack work center is a machine. Yes, it's as well the machine. So it can be labor, plant maintenance, production line, processing unit. So mainly what I saw in the incidents, there are either machines or machines. So I didn't even see like labor type. Really, in SAP, only equipment. Okay, so then you can see who is the person responsible, like shop floor supervisor. So if you go to, I don't know, the hierarchy of factory, then the guy who is shop floor supervisor for a specific factory will be responsible for correct maintenance and working of machine. Yes, then we have usage. If it is 001, mostly it is. Let me check here. Yes, only routings. It means that um, like routing is the sequence of actions which is required to finish, like to perform the production. So this work center can be only used in a routing. So it cannot be just used without any production cycle where like it takes some specific place. So you can't just turn it on and use it without any production cycle, without any other machines combined, and so on. Yeah, so backflash is a technical tick. It means it provides information if some follow-up documents will be created automatically or not, but like for us, it doesn't really matter a lot. So here on the basic data view, we also have standard value key, which determines which type of plant values must be maintained or can be skipped in routings. And we only use the key ZSAP. So it always should be ZSAP. Then for these four lines, you can see different rules for maintenance, like should be entered, no checking. Let's check in our case. Well, it's the same in our case as well. So it means like for setup machine, it means if the machine setup time should be entered in a routing, and in this case, it should be entered. And setup time, it means like when your shift starts, you cannot just instantly start producing, right? You need first to prepare the machine, you need to turn it on. Maybe it needs some warm up or something. Maybe it takes some time to load it with components and so on. So, for example, you start the shift at 9 a.m. and the machine can start its part in production cycle only in 10 a.m. because an hour is required for setup and so on. So yeah, you can check it later. It's described for all the actions. Then we have the default values view. So actually, starting from this, there are some uh, there are indicators, a lot of them. You see, there are even some indicators which are not described, like suitability, wage type, wage group. So you can check the descriptions. Also remember that all the descriptions are available in SAP itself. You can just go to, for example, this tab or all the tabs, and you can press F1 and you will see the description of this or that field. So you can check what is suitability actually. But to be honest, we don't really dig deep into these specifications of work centers during the work with incidents. So I'm going to show you. You can check it in the presentation later, but I'm going to show you only the characteristics which are important for us. Set a formula. No, that's actually I cannot remember these indicators to participate in the incidents. Well, regarding the active version, yes. So active version should be 1, and sometimes it is missed for some reason. So let's check. I guess it's here. Uh, I forgot how to access it. Yes, capacity header, right? Oh, I need to choose an entry. What does it mean? Sorry. Uh, we have capacities. To view other settings, click on the capacity button for switching to capacity header. So that's what I do. But it doesn't show me. It looks like there is no data for capacity header in this particular work center. Okay, well, anyway, sorry guys, we have to switch back to presentation. I'm not sure why the capacity header doesn't work in this specific case. So let's check. Okay, okay, sorry. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's check this very same work center MP01 plant PLP2. Okay, so we go to capacities. Yes, well, for some reason, for this material, for this, sorry, for this work center, we have capacity data header maintained, and for previous machine, there was no capacity header data. Well, the active version, yeah, it is set as 1, and it should be always 1 as far as I know. Normal available capacity, but yeah, not exactly sure what it means. Active version maintained here should be the one which is requested to be available for PPDS. Okay. Okay, right. Yeah, so here in capacity header, we also have the start and time length of breaks. So for example, this machine can work 24/7 without any breaks. So operating time is 24 hours. Capacity utilization is the relationship between machine actual capacity and theoretical capacity. In JTI, it is always 100%. Okay, so let's skip several slides. Well, I guess actually this is quite enough information for work center because you won't really, probably you won't need to dive into all other tabs. Yeah, source string, no, that's definitely not required. Yeah, so moving to resource counterpart. Again, it can be displayed with a T code, SAP APO RES01. And oh, I guess, uh, okay, let me check. Maybe if I want to display this work center for this resource, I need to exclude the W letter. Yes. Sorry, CHP1. Right. Yes. So the naming convention is like this. So for a work center, you have a short name, which is just a letter or a couple of letters, and usually 2 digits. And for work center, you see that for resource, you see that W is added as prefix. Then you have the, how it's called, undercut. No, I can't remember. So you have the symbol, the plant name. Then usually it is 001, I guess, or it can be 001, 002. So that's the data for a resource, can be checked this way. Yeah, so here you can check the location to which this resource is assigned, but it's quite obvious because it is also contained in the name of the resource. Then you have the time zone, factory calendar. So the factory calendar actually is assigned to a resource, not to a work center. So in work center, we saw that this data field was empty. But for the factory calendar, for the resource, we can see that factory calendar is assigned. RP, probably it means Russian production. I'm not sure. So yeah, so if, in this case, it is CP, so probably China production calendar. So usually one country has one factory calendar because all the bank holidays and day offs are uniform across the country. Yeah, so again, you have the start and end time limits, break durations. You can see in this case, there should be a 2-hour break, and a resource cannot work for 24 hours without breaks. Utilization rate is again 100%, and so on. So yeah, active variant is again 1. So the data is basically more or less the same. It is just arranged in various steps because because resource, unlike work center, contains only data related to playing. Then moving forward, we need to switch to the routings. No, I guess we can check the transportation lanes first. Yes. So let me tell you now. So I hope that it is more or less clear with locations, which are basically plants and resources and work centers, like what it is in general. Also, there is such piece of master data as transportation lane. So what is actually transportation lane? You all know, I hope you all know P2P, procure to pay process. And in P2P, we have such piece of master data, which is called purchase info record, right? So purchase info record is basically a set of rules which defines our like relationships related to purchasing activities with some vendor for some material or product. So this is a set of rules which defines how we buy this or that product from a particular supplier. So that is actually what is transportation lane. Transportation lane is a link between two trading partners: plants, distribution centers, storage location, customers, transportation zones, or vendors. So as you know, we can buy material from external third-party supplier. Then it is one flow. We can buy material from our own plant from abroad, like RUP1 plant purchases material from DEP1 plant, right? In this case, there is also a purchasing for record and also a transportation lane. Then we can move material between two plants inside one country. So for example, from RUP1 to RUP2, the material can be transported. And we also can sell the material, like, well, you see, yeah. So, well, no, selling the material is not related. Sorry, selling the material is not related to this process. It doesn't require purchasing for record or transportation lane. So you can see that we can buy from external supplier, which is called subcontracting. We can move material between different plants inside one company code. So inside one market, it's called intra-company flow, and we can buy material from another country, which is called intercompany flow. So how the transportation lanes are created? Well, let me better show you how the transportation lane looks like in the system. Let's close some tabs. So let's take this material, for example, that is already opened. Let's check for which plant it is maintained, CHP1, okay. So how do we open a transportation lane? We need to use a T code, which is called /SAP/APO/TL1. We use it, then we use active model 000. It is always used in GTA. Then we need to provide a start location and a destination location. So we are checking this material and we are checking the product view. So let's find out where this material usually comes from if we are not producing it. So usually we are producing it, unfortunately. Yeah, and it doesn't really come from anywhere. We're just producing it, and that's all. And unfortunately, in order to run, to show a transportation lane, I need to know start location and destination location. So let's check, for example, a flow from CHP1 to DEP1, right? CHP1, DEP1. So we have start and destination location. Let's just hope that there is some material transferring between those two locations. So we click display. And actually, yes, there are only two materials, actually, quite interesting, which are transported from CHP1 to DEP1. Let's try the opposite flow and see what happens. Oh, you can see there is much bigger list. So lots of materials are transported from DEP1 to CHP1, but only one material. Sorry, it's too cold. only two materials are transferred between CHP1 and DEP1, so in the opposite direction. And what actually transportation lane is, it's almost same as purchasing for record, but with data only related to planning as well. So we can choose every particular material, and we will see the you see the product. You see when the the validity period of transportation lane. So usually it is unlimited, but it can be limited as well, and this may cause problems in the system. So what do we have here? Yeah, so no interesting data. But here we also have means of transport, which define how this product is physically transported from one location to another. For example, transportation duration between these two locations is set as 24 hours. For some reason, transportation distance is not filled. It is mentioned as 0. I guess the main data that is required is a time, and distance doesn't really go anywhere in the system. We have loading method, straight loading, and so on. Usually we should always be able to see the type of transport, like is it truck or plane or ship. So how this material is actually moved. Let's check. Yes, so can I see any more data here? Okay, well, that's actually it. So for incidents, the main issue is that transportation lane is invalid, so it is out of validity dates. Then that it was not created at all, or that incorrect transportation lane is created. So let's check for some products. Let's find some. Okay, well, we have this SKR in the system. We have transportation lane. Let's see if we will find purchasing for record. So we go to T code ME1M. Yeah, then we have material, and we have plant, right? CHP1. Okay, so that's all we need. We click execute. Oh, strange. Maybe because that is very old material. Let's find some newer one. Yeah, let's try this. This looks more modern. Mhm. Okay. Okay, so we have only info record with the flow CHP1 to CH03. but we don't have any info record for DEP1. All right, so okay. Well, maybe the purchase info record was deleted in the system and transportation lane just stayed there for some reason. I'm not totally sure now. Let's try with some another material, for example. No, nothing happens. Okay, then moving back to presentation, what do we have? Oh, sorry. What do we have for transportation lane? There is a flow, how to create them, but let's check how we can maintain them. So the same T code TL1 is used both for displaying and maintaining the transportation lanes. Then we need to choose model name 000, as I said, always use it. Then we have start location, destination location, and then, yes, so there are three main parts. Product specific transportation lane, so the upper part. It lists all the products to which this transportation lane applies and includes the data like start and end date, product procurement parameters. There are means of transport, lists available means of transport that can be used to transport goods between locations. And there is a product specific means of transport. So in our case, we don't have any product specific means of transport. We have only just means of transport. So yeah, yes, there is no product specific one. Then what is interesting here? No, this is not required. Well, you see here in the example, in training, in the means of transport, there is such field called means of transport description. And here we can see that material is transported by truck, for example. But in our case, I cannot really see it here. Yeah, the description is empty. Yeah, there is no such field. Yeah, okay. Um, well, probably you might be confused, like, what do we do with this information? Why do we need transportation lanes? Why do we need to know about them? So let me show you some KBs related to transportation lanes. Maybe it will shed some light on why do we need this in the first place. So the reason is the same why we need purchasing for records for purchasing. We cannot really create the purchase requisitions in planning the purchase orders without the transportation lane maintained. So there are also several useful KBs. For example, a specific KB for transportation lanes based on special procurement type. No, not this one. Yeah, this one, methods of transportation lanes creation. So this is actually a really useful KB because transportation lane usually are created using two different methods. First one is based on special procurement key. You remember when we were talking about material master data, we were also considering the special procurement. It means that we buy material from some plant always, right? So if we display this material, we go to AMR P2 tab. So in this case, the material is produced in-house production. But we have a lot of materials and products which are not produced, but they can be purchased from another factory. And in this case, we will have special procurement maintained, like stock transfer, procurement from Uzbekistan plant or Belarusian plant. So there is a totally normal situation. And in this case, if we have special procurement key, we need it to be maintained in material master data. We need advanced planning checkbox to be ticked. And after that, transportation lane will be created automatically. So for intercompany flows, the transportation lanes are usually automatically created from special procurement key. And transportation lanes can be also created based on purchase info records. If the transportation lane was created by special procurement key field, it will have value S in the field creation indicator. So let's check our transportation lanes. There should be field creation indicator. Let me check. Can find it. Yes, creation indicator S. So all of these transportation lanes for these materials were created using a special procurement key. And yeah, you see, but some of them are created based on purchase info records. And in this case, purchase info records are mentioned here as document numbers. So actually that's interesting. For example, for one material, we have a transportation lane based on a special procurement key and transportation lane which based on purchase info record. So we can use it to go to purchase info record, ME13 T code. And, oh, sorry. Oh. Yes. Yeah, so here we can see it in just in S4. So not a lot of data is maintained here, but probably it was not required, or it is the old purchase info record which was already deleted. Then for transportation lanes, we also, yeah, you see there is an error type. The purchase order was not converted. And there is an error, enter net price. So one of the reasons, first one, that purchase info record is out of date. And the second reason, the transportation lane is incomplete. So you should check that it is valid, that only one transportation lane is active. If two transportation lanes are active, one of them, which is not required, should be deleted, for example, and so on. So the logic is the same as with purchasing for record. Okay, guys, so I think that's all for now. We covered such parts of master data as locations, work centers, transportation lanes. So all we need to cover more is this block, bill of materials, routing, and production version. But this goes for tomorrow. There is just too much information. Sorry, guys. Thank you for watching.